Alrighty, what do we got here? Well, in our sort of, you know, quest of being one of Zoran's strongest soldiers, we got the Democratic Party. Now, obviously, the Democratic establishment has been not trying to take this quietly into the night. They had like their sort of initial, I want to say like non-endorsements of Zoran Mamdani, saying like, oh yeah, like I hope like he is successful in the race in the general election. Not endorsing him obviously because I don't know, these people are old ghouls and will do anything possible to actively snub progressive momentum. If the Democrats were like halfway like politically astute or I don't know good at politics, they would recognize for like literally 3 seconds that Zoran is the man. If we're talking about like a way to be able to build potential energy, excitement for a political candidate, you can look at like someone like Zohran Mamdani. But are they going to learn from the successes of his campaign? No, nah. I'm not even gonna be like charitable whatsoever. Fuck that. Like absolutely not. Charitability with the what 17% approval rating Democrat like not Democrats Chuck Schumer who's I don't know saying that Americans are like aroused to try to stop Donald Trump. Yeah, dude, I'm totally gonna believe that guy. What is Hakeem Jeffries's approval rating? I'm curious. I've not checked this before. Favorable, unfavorable ratings of Hakeem Jefferies. Just grab something real quick. I'm curious. Minus 1.4. Minus 1.4 average net unfavorability rating. Yeah, it's not as high as I thought it would be. I'm not going to lie. That's interesting. But in certain polls, yeah, he's I'm seeing a lot of red. I'm seeing a lot more red than indigo? I'm going to go with indigo. I'm going with indigo. Seeing a lot of red. I don't think he's very popular right now. Guys, who would have thought that sitting around and doing nothing was not going to be a politically efficacious, well, position? I'm shocked. But what does our boy here have to say about Zoran Mamdani? What do we got here?
Came out of nowhere with less money, less fame, beat the Democratic establishment, beat Mario Cuomo. I should say Andrew Cuomo, son of Mario Cuomo, known in New York.
What about Luigi?
Is that a good thing for the Democratic Party?
I'm sorry.
Well, he ran a tremendous race. He outworked the opposition. He out communicated the opposition. He out organized the opposition. And I think one of the things that was key about what he was able to do is that he ran directly at the issue of affordability. Across every age demographic, it's the number one issue in the city of New York. Now, he articulated a very provocative platform in that regard. I look forward to sitting down and talking to him about his plans to actually implement that platform to deal with some of the challenges that the communities that I face.
Wouldn't the main challenge for the I suppose that Hakeem Jeffries is alluding to here just be the New York? If I'm okay, I don't know if there's any New York heads here in the chat whatsoever. Are there like what's the? It's basically you have to get funding from the governorship. I'm not sure if that's the case with every other state. I assume different states have different sort of rules and stuff in terms of I don't know policy with what's going on here broadly speaking, but right? Like in terms of like the policy that for as to how like cities get particular state funding allocated to them if they have to like discuss with the governor or something. I have to ask Beer Bash. I probably would have to ask Beer Bash. He probably would know best. That's a good suggestion. Boy meets Minnie. But I think like what you're supposed to talk with the governor, right? And we all know that what Kathy Hochul is in an potential election relatively soon. Now, what exactly could happen there? Yada yada, bloody bloody. Who the hell really knows? To be honest, kind of a deal. That, like, I don't know. Flip a coin. I'll be honest. Like Kathy Hochul seems like just like the really the encapsulation of like a do nothing Democrat. I'll be honest, but that's a whole other like can of worms kind of a deal. It's one of those like things where it's just like it depending on how like those negotiations go in terms of like, because we know what Zohran Mamdani wants to do in terms of like being able to raise the funds necessary to implement his agenda in terms of like the free busing and all this other stuff. He's trying to like match the state next to New York, and that is New Jersey's corporate tax rate of about what 11.5% in comparison to what I think it's like 7.5% or something like that. Something like that, right?
Are dealing with in terms of gentrification and displacement, and a whole host of other issues that I would normally talk about with any Democratic nominee, and certainly we'll talk about with our particular Democratic nominee in the context of the mayoral race. I think one of the things that we'll continue to try to do at the national level is to lean in aggressively to Donald Trump's failure to address the high cost of living. He promised to lower costs on day one. Costs aren't going down.
Yep.
It's going up. Inflation is on the way up.
And you guys are doing a real great job at trying to stop any of that with, like the big, beautiful bill. I mean, you did like your little 9-hour filibuster there. I mean, good job, Hakeem Jefferies. Great work, bud.
Life remains far too expensive for the American people.
I got to tell
Democrats
you,
want to do something about it.
Respectfully,
Sure.
I see the pivot. You're good at this. That's how you got this job. But then I got to rephrase the question. You're not ready yet to say whether it's a good thing. You want to meet with him. You want to kick the tires at this juncture.
We have a good interviewer. What? I never would have expected this. I mean, this is true. What's the name of this dude? Yeah, whoa, good interview. I don't know what the name of this dude is, to be honest, but sensing and just like calling out the pivot here of Hakeem Jefferies, saying like, buddy, you didn't answer the question. Like, can you answer the question? I'd appreciate an answer to the question. I agree. What's he gonna say?
You're not ready to say that this turnout, this energy that he tapped in New York is good for the party yet.
Oh, no, listen. I mean, I think that when you can increase the electorate, particularly as it relates to parts of the electorate that came out in significant numbers, which include the South Asian community in many parts of New York City, and certainly younger folks under the age of 39 in New York City, that is absolutely a good thing. And of course, he should be credited with pulling off that kind of campaign that reached so many folks.
But the tension here, if I'm hearing some possible tension.
I'll be honest, he's still not really answering the main question, like what he thinks about Zohran Mamdani as a general sort of candidate.
Is, as you know, the Democratic Party has had a hard time with some of these, whatever you call them, Democratic socialists, insurgents, more liberal, energetic candidates, even when they do what you just referred to. So we have a history here from Bernie Sanders, some of the way the AOC or members of the squad were treated, and now some of the apparent reaction where people are wondering, is there room in the tent? Not saying that I mean, you have a lot more power than him, not saying you would endorse the whole platform, but when his platform is affordability, ideas around democratic socialism, raising the tax rate in the city of New York, free buses, a different type of foreign policy, if we simplify, but much more harshly critical of the Israeli government, say, than I think the congressional leaders have been in terms of approaching the entire conflict. Is there room in the Big Ten of the Democratic Party for that right now, or for you, is that TBD?
It's a good question. I'll be quite honest. Hey, Hakeem, say what you actually think, buddy. Again, I keep saying this. Whatever happened to vote blue no matter who? Right? Whatever happened to that? It's almost as if, you actually get through the primary and you have a pretty good shot at winning in the general, especially in New York, right? As a Democrat, all of a sudden you have all the main, I don't know, congressional apparatchiks and main sort of trying to think of like what the best term is to say here. Main sort of like apparatchiks? No, congressional representatives. I think that's the term. Like basically having hesitancy, being like, well, I don't know. Like he's like kind of he's a guy dude thing. Like he's kind of like whatever. Like it kind of scares me. I don't know about this one, guys. Like how much money does like Hakeem Jefferies get from like AIPAC? Hakeem Jefferies, money from AIPAC. Because that's like the main thing with Hakeem Jefferies in terms of like campaign contributions. Oh, yeah, AIPAC tracker. This is a very generally reliable source, I'd say. Oof, $1.3 million from AIPAC. That's a lot of money. I wonder why maybe Hakeem Jefferies might have some reservations for, wanting to support Zohran Mamdani in particular. Not, it couldn't be because of any particular reasoning for, like, I don't know, his, like, line saying that, personally I think that Palestinians and the Palestinians and the Israelis should have, like, equal rights for all within Israel, I think that's, like, pretty base and epic. The same position as what Ilan Pape himself also adopts. So, I'm just throwing out some thoughts there.
Well, certainly we're a big tent party, and I think what I'll say in terms of the House Democratic Caucus family is that every single member of the House Democratic Caucus, from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez all the way to Representative Jared Golden and everyone in between, progressives, New Dems, and Blue Dogs, we in the House, we represent the gorgeous mosaic of the American people. That's a good thing. Now, I think what we have to do is make sure that we can more intimately communicate with the American people, that we understand their challenges and their frustrations.
He's still not really answering the question.
The desire to build an affordable economy that actually works for working class Americans, that we hear you, we see you, we feel you, and we're committed to making life better for you.
Yeah, except like you're not really doing that. Yeah, he's not answering the question. He's answered like none of these questions, basically. I think he's just going to be too afraid to want to talk about Zohran Mamdani because of the fact that he represents a new energy within the Democratic Party. Like Zohran Mamdani's broader coalition, if we can be like broad, like, not hyperbolic, but broadly accurate, is what a lot of like more sort of like upper middle class, like sort of like tech workers and stuff like that, like more upper middle class, like suburbanite, like liberals and stuff like that. Not like suburbanite liberals, that's not like exactly accurate, but you get the vibe. Like upper middle class, like liberals, highly educated people, right? Highly educated liberals, and working class people as well, or people within the working class. And it's a very broad, multiracial, young coalition. These are the things that terrify the Democrats, that someone is able to bring those two particular classes of people together in order to be able to build a, coalition in order to be able to gain power.
And the bigger the tent, the more likely it is that we can reach the greatest number of Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all you people do is try to appeal to upper middle class, like, Republican suburbanites. Like, are we for real, dude? Like, come on, dude. People who are, like, never gonna want to vote for you anyways because you're gonna make the assumption that everyone else is already gonna vote for you anyways because of just how stinky and mean and terrible the Republican Party is. Well, unfortunately, that strategy's not gonna work anymore. We've seen, broadly speaking, everyone more and more so shift towards the Republican Party, and that was minority voters, a bunch of other working class voters and stuff like that. People, broadly speaking, feel abandoned by the party. This want to inherently appeal to the upper middle class suburbanite, like white moderate and Republican voters it's not working. It's not.
All right, interesting to get your mosaic there, get some nuance on that. I'm running over on time, but I got to give you at least a chance to respond to Elon Musk. You've risen to run the Democratic Party in the Congress. No easy feat.
Okay, I don't care about Elon Musk. Screw Elon Musk. He's a Nazi. There you go. That's my thoughts on Elon Musk. Very cool. We got also, I believe this is Ritchie Torres. One of, I don't know, Apex's strongest soldiers or some shit. What does he got to say?
Tonight, the midterms may have just gotten a little bit harder for some New York House Democrats. Looking to capitalize on Zohran Mamdani's meteoric ascent in New York City, some of his allies are now threatening to primary some Democratic incumbents in next year's election. CNN asked Mamdani if he'd stop those potential challenges.
Dude, Ritchie Torres is like a complete fucking wretch, dude. Like, he is just an awful human being, right? Like, he is just not a good person. And how do you know this? He follows the Horseman of Spite, aka a Destiny, on Twitter. So therefore, yeah, he's got to be bad, right?
Challenges, and his press secretary said that he was declining to comment. So
yes.
Who ended up making that list? Well, there's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jefferies, Representatives Yvette Clarke, Dan Goldman, Jerry Nadler, and yes, Ritchie Torres, who is with us at the table tonight. So what do you think?
I'm honored. I think it's fair to say that my colleagues in the New York congressional delegation and I, we do not care about the Democratic Socialists of America. We're focused on defeating congressional Republicans in the midterms and making Hakeem Jefferies the Speaker of the House.
I don't think that's going to be very hard for you guys to achieve, given, broadly speaking, how ridiculously unpopular a lot of the bullshit that Trump is doing. I don't think you guys are going to have many problems in the midterms. Unless, like, I don't even, like, some, like, singularity of, like, cringe and ridiculous, crazy nonsense happens in order to, like, somehow you guys, like, completely and utterly bungle this. Like, I'm trying to, like, think, like, how possibly could the Democrats fuck this up, right? How could they fuck it up? Because I do think they probably could fuck it up. I'd believe it. I would believe it. It's not a ridiculous thing to just be like, oh yeah, you guys are gonna mess it up. You guys are gonna do something stupid. And yeah, like you're saying, Boy Meets Minnie, bro, you're from New York. What congressional Republicans do you need to defeat? Great point. That's a pretty good question. What Republican candidate's going to run in, I don't know, Ritchie Torres' seat, which is probably very safe blue? None.
And reversing the catastrophic consequences of the Republican reconciliation bill, we could care less about Mickey Mouse primary challenges.
Now let me ask you this: how the
dude? Okay, then again, a guy who's not ostensibly a part of the sort of machine. I don't know if machine is correct to say, but the broader sort of like DSA umbrella, like, why did the DNC have to oust David Hogg? Why'd they have to oust him? Richie. David Hogg got ousted by the DNC because they felt fucking threatened by his pack that was looking to sort of, well, look to oust do-nothing Democrats. And I certainly don't doubt that potentially he could have had you in his sights and some of those other people that were listed in there, like Dan Goldman, Jerry Nadler, and others as well. I wonder if you were potentially might be actually afraid and you're just like trying to play it off as if like, yeah, I'm like, it's all actually cool, dude. Like, we're totally like focused on like, I don't know, getting the name of the stupid reconciliation bill changed, and also doing our like LARP shit show, like meme tier fest of a 9-hour filibuster, which basically accomplished nothing at all whatsoever. The big beautiful bill still passed, so whatever.
hell does the first openly gay Afro-Puerto Rican congressperson from the Bronx end up being establishment? What does establishment mean these days in the Democratic Party?
Well,
that's a really easy question to answer, to be honest. It's very nice that, I don't know, you decided to list all of his, like, id poll, like, identifiers. This is what actual id poll looks like. Like, you're not progressive because you're gay Afro-Puerto Rican, okay? shut the fuck up, dude. Like, how much money does Ritchie Torres get from AIPAC? I'm curious. Ritchie Torres, AIPAC tracker. What we got? How much you getting from there, buddy? That's a lot of money you're getting from AIPAC there, buddy. $1.5 million. Woof! That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that this lobbying group is giving to you. This right-wing lobbying group is giving to you. Yeah, that's what makes you establishment Democrat. The fact that you're willing to accept millions upon millions of dollars of PAC money, of either being it from corporate PACs or interests that represent the, military-industrial complex, which AIPAC ostensibly represents.
For me, the lesson learned from Mamdani's victory is that there is no democratic establishment.
What do you mean by that?
Are you being honest when you say you don't know why they're targeting you?
What do you mean by that?
You know why they're targeting you.
Oh no, I'm not. I know why they're targeting
And you know why they're
but
targeting
I don't care that they're targeting.
Well, so why don't you say it? You know why they're targeting you.
I think they're targeting me because I'm pro-Israel.
That's 100%.
Yeah, that's the issue.
So are you saying they're targeting you and all of these other individuals?
At least he admits it.
Like Hakeem
I mean,
Jefferies and
I think
others?
I am specifically targeted because of my position on Israel.
And
That's
by
what
the
I
way,
said.
he's been courageous on this issue, and he's had a backbone, and he has stood up to the wacko radicals.
Oh, is this like the 3 IQ like Republican that they have on in order to make the panel seem like balanced, quote unquote? Yeah, dude, whatever. Like, definitely this like moron troglodyte who probably like jerks off to the images of mulched Palestinian children wants to definitely like be like, yeah, Ritchie Torres has been really, really brave on the issue of Israel-Palestine. You know, he's like totally hecking super based and epic. I can't believe that these radicals want to primary him and challenge him because of the fact that, he gets a lot of money from AIPAC. And which, current genocide that's going on in Palestine right now. Like, do we need to like do the meme? We can do the meme. Do the meme. We're doing the meme. We're doing the meme. Palestinians dying at GHF aid locations. We can do the meme. We can do the meme. We do the meme. Death or food. Palestinians killed by Israel at Gaza's aid centers. Now, what do we got here? At the sight of her son, Ahmed's bullet-ridden body laid out in the courtyard of Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza, Ashman Shut collapsed on the ground, overcome with grief. Her screams echoed in the air, her voice choked by shock and sorrow. She kissed the 23-year-old's face, hands and feet as she cried. Her 6 other children and relatives tried to hold her back, but she pushed them away. Leave me with him, leave me with him. Ahmed will speak again. Yeah. In 1 month, 600 Palestinians have been killed and more than 4,200 wounded by Israeli fire near GHF aid distribution sites, according to Gaza's government media office. Why are you relying on Gaza's government? That's run by Hamas, and obviously they have to be fucking dishonest. Is there any particular reasoning for them to be fucking dishonest in reporting all this stuff? Like, okay, sure. How about we do another meme? Sure. We do the meme. Doing the meme. U.S. contractors shooting at Palestinians. Why don't we do that? We can do that. We can do the meme. We doing the meme? I'm looking for just the video itself. I think you hit one. Woo! Woo! Those are U.S. contractors doing that. Ritchie, I wonder why people might be having problems with your stances on Israel. Ritchie, what's this? I wonder why people might be having problems. I couldn't think of anything.
The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, backed by the US and Israel, has been mired in controversy from the start.
You can say that again.
2 security subcontractors working with the foundation have come forward
Yeah, they're demons.
and given a rare insight into the situation.
I mean, when we first talked about the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, this was the easiest of calls of life. that Israel was going to use this as a honeypot to gather Palestinians, using food as a war due to the fact that there was currently, about a 3-month siege upon Gaza itself. No food, no aid, no nothing was coming in, and they were starving out the fucking population. And then they conveniently set up all these, like, little aid locations for people to go to. That makes you think, don't it? Wonder why they're doing that. I wonder why they're just letting this happen. Like, no problem when they were previously doing a 3-month siege, which is against the Geneva Convention.
On the ground.
I got IDF tank posted on the northwest corner now. I brought him in to talk to him. Let's do the show first. But I told him to hold there. I don't want this to be too aggressive.
The contractors said security staff were often
Not too aggressive,
unqualified and unvetted. A video showing one occasion when it's thought someone had been hit.
Look at me! Look at me! Gunning down! Look at me! I'm a little gremlin! I'm gunning down the emaciated Palestinians coming in to try to get some food! Hey, Ritchie! Ritchie! I wonder why people might be having problems with your pro-Israel stances. I couldn't think of anything! Boy Meets Minnie? Can you think of anything? Anyone else? Can you think of anything? I couldn't possibly think of any particular reasoning for as to why people are having problems with Ritchie Torres's not pro-Palestinian, but pro-Israeli stances. I can't think of anything.
And his party on this, and he deserves all the credit in the world for it, but that's why he's on the list, because these people have a burning hatred for Israel. It's one of their main pieces of their platform, and that's why they put him on the list, and it's terrible.
So, look, when Democrats have been asking,
I think they may be having problems with stuff like this.
oh, what did we learn from Mamdani's victory? What's your answer to that?
For me, it says more about media than ideology. Like, the race between Cuomo and Mamdani was not just a collision of ideologies and personalities, but it was a collision of the old world of media and the new world of media. Like, we have to recognize there's a generation of young voters.
Yeah, this is the same fucking dumbass criticisms that all the, like, Democratic pundits and, like, even, like, the I don't know, like, the dumbasses like Harry Sisson were also saying. Okay, this is, like, complete gobbledygook. Okay, that's not the main reason. It's because Mamdani actually believes in things, and motherfuckers like yourself are okay with I don't know, turning children to mulch, starving mothers, children, just killing people, murdering them, starving them, depriving them of basic human necessities. And this being very clearly and broadly televised to people. Listen, ring, 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 ring. Hello, IDF. This is your lawyer speaking. Personally, I believe, solemnly so, that you guys should keep broadcasting all of your wretched actions that you are doing within Gaza, within the West Bank, and you should keep talking about this constantly, over and over and over again. Keep broadcasting it. It's going to look really, really good on the broader world stage. The I don't know, like the pariah state that you people are turning yourselves into. I couldn't think of any particular reasoning at all whatsoever as to why people might not like Israel.
Voters who no longer watching television. They watch Instagram Reels, they watch YouTube Shorts, they watch TikTok, and we have to meet voters where they are, and we have to adapt to this brave new world of alternative media.
Also,
that, to me, is my greatest takeaway.
People always talk about, people talk often about how wonderful Mamdani is and how popular his policy positions are. But nobody seems to mention that Andrew Cuomo, it was a severely damaged candidate with, 12, 13 sexual harassment allegations against him, who had to resign in.
I disagree with this. Like, that got, like, constantly brought up on the debate stage by both Mamdani and mostly Brad Lander. That man Brad Lander went in on that shit, okay? He had, like, a grudge with Cuomo, and listen, big ups to our man Brad, okay? Listen, either if you have, like, a spot within Mamdani's administration, or personally, what I think, that man Brad Lander should run for Congress. I'd advocate for him. I would. He'd be great in the House, I think. I hope he has the political ambitions to pursue it.
Shane, who's got a scandal regarding nursing homes?
A different Democrat could have won. Like there was a universe of voters who could not vote for either
I mean, it doesn't
Mamdani
mean
nor
that
Cuomo.
Mamdani did not run an incredibly
let's
good
be
and
clear,
effective campaign.
And I acknowledge your point on about Israel, but Mamdani did not run on Israel. He did not even run on defund the police. In fact, he ran away from it. He ran on affordability. And
Dude, he didn't run away from it. He didn't talk about it because it's just like a nonsense issue. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He talked about how, like, yeah, I'm not looking to defund the police. I don't know how many times you idiots have to talk about this. Also, crime is down in New York, right? Like, crime rate. New York. It's down. Like, the NYPD is also reporting it as it being down, dude. But whatever. Yeah, we're gonna keep talking about the differing sort of like shit here or something. Like, are we like for real? It's broadly speaking, it's going down. But sure, we're just gonna keep like, I don't know, doing complete annoying fucking nonsense about this. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's fucking stupid. Thank you, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, New York City Police Department announces crime continues to decline in February 2025, shatters 30-year shooting record. That's why it wasn't talked about, because it's going down. It's not a main issue that people care about. For you to, like, I don't know, morally preen about and just be stupid and annoying about it. It's ridiculous.
the fact is there is a generation of young voters who are struggling with the crushing cost of housing and higher education and healthcare, and who want to hear candidates speak to their anxieties about the affordability crisis. And so that, to me, is the greatest lesson learned, is that we as Democrats have to create an agenda that speaks to the affordability crisis.
Why is it that when Democrats,
Abunda?
and maybe Republicans as well, want to usher in change, rather than going after the opposite party, they start to eat their own? I mean, David Hogg was raked over the coals for a very similar threat to...
I don't know what her name is. I'm really bad with names. I'm sorry. That is a fantastic point. I also said that. I don't know what her name is. She's like a pretty decent anchor, I believe. She does a good job with these like roundtable thingies that they do at like CNN. Obviously, they have to have dumbass Republican in there because of the nature of like the leadership within CNN. I don't remember. I still don't know what her name is. She does a very good job with these. I'll be honest.
Incumbent Democrats. I mean, that seems like just, dare I say, a little lazy, because it's easier to go after somebody in your own party rather than actually fight against the thing that is the exact
Abby
opposite
Phillip,
of
that's
what
her
you
name.
stand for.
Yeah, I agree. It's not productive. And I think that on the message, especially what you just said, we should all be focused.
We got, former DNC spokesperson. We got the fucking libtard. We got the fucking paid for DNC show. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Yeah, dude, it's totally not efficacious to go after these do-nothing dipshits who just sit on their ass collecting they fucking federal paycheck paid for by taxpayer money from Americans, and we have to go after the one dude who's actually saying, like, we should probably do something about these do-nothing dipshits when everyone is clamoring for your party to do something. But, yeah, dude, totally. Let's go after the guy who's trying to advocate for that position in a position of power and come up with, like, some idiotic, incredulous bullshit in order to oust him from that. Yeah, get the hell out of here with this, like, complete fucking nonsense, dude.
Focus on taking on Republicans. And I think that's why David Hogg and his messaging about standing up another organization to primary potential incumbents was problematic. And it's also, if you're going to be part of the DNC's
good. People want it to be problematic. They've had enough of like all the stupid, like idiotic establishment fingering my own fucking asshole and just sitting there doing nothing politics, okay? People have had enough of this stupid bullshit. Like, 40 fucking years of this complete utter nonsense, capitulation, cowardice, do nothing. People don't want any of it anymore. They're sick and tired of it, and they want change. They want material benefit and change. Like, well, you know, have you considered that, like, Zohran Mamdani is just, like, and David Hogg are just being kind of too aggressive and, like, icky and stinky because they want to kick out all of our do-nothing bureaucrat loser dipshits who just want to sit around and just collect a paycheck? Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if people are tired about that. Couldn't think of anything.
Entire role is to elect Democrats. It is not to primary them. That, you know, if you want to pick candidates, go to the DS and the D-Trip and they do some of that work, but the DNC raises money for state parties, and that's not what David Hogg instead was a distraction. I think all of this is a distraction, to be honest with you. The fact that we're arguing about this whenever Andrew Cuomo is highly flawed, the only title change that Hakeem Jefferies is going to get is to Speaker. And that is because of the 17 million people that were cut off their health care. And I think that if I think...
Dude, that's not because of, like, Democrats doing a good job. It's because of Republicans being complete, utter fucking demons, okay? You ain't doing shit about that. Okay, get this fucking nonsense out of here. Like, this, again, like, consultants like this right here, this is the death of the Democratic Party. Motherfuckers like this is the reason why, you know, fascism, I don't know, Tube, Electric Boogaloo is in power right now with spooky Epstein list denying potential pedophile Donald Trump is in power, okay? Get the hell out of here with this nonsense, dude.
I think if Democrats continue with that message and continue with doing everything to help the American people and provide more for them, and how Donald Trump is rising costs for Americans, then I think that we will be...
Yo, nice filibuster and changing the name to the bill instead of the one big beautiful bill. That's really helping Americans. They're doing a really good job. I'm feeling aroused to want to support Democrats.
Be successful
but
in the
it should
election.
be a wake-up call to incumbents that they have to work their asses off.
Yes.
They have to be in touch with their base. Listen, we saw this happen with AOC and Joe Crowley. We saw this happen.
What's that mean for him, though?
The
only way to satisfy
it means
that
that he can't. It means that nobody who's elected like this. Listen, we saw that.
Notice how it's the 3 IQ Republican that's like saying this shit, who's trying to like actually interrupt Ana Navarro's potentially good point here. You know, I shat on her for like doing the like annoying id poll shit because I always find that shit to be particularly annoying. But yeah, she's correct. Maybe you guys have to do some actual work. Crazy.
This happened on the Republican side to Cantor in Virginia, where they think that because they're elected, they can coast. I'm not talking about Ritchie. I'm talking about a lot of other people. So what I'm...
Great point here by Ana Navarro. She is correct, which is the exact same point that I brought up, which were the main people that David Hogg was looking to go after in particular. But, the DNC needs to have their gerontocratic dipshits in power because, again, like, they don't actually give much of a shit at all about, like, being able to push for change.
What I'm saying is it is a wake-up call. This happened to Joe Crowley with AOC. This, people who think because they're elected and they've got the advantages of incumbency, they can coast and not work hard, not put in the sweat, not run good, effective campaigns, are in for wake-up calls.
You're describing older elected officials. He's young, he's new, he's only committed one sin in the eyes of these radicals, and that's just...
Well, I don't think it's only one. I mean, it's well, the sin that we're talking about here is it's a pretty big one, Listen, man, these guys were cheering on the fact that people were that these contractors were shooting, I don't know, starving Palestinians. I wonder why people might not be big fans of Ritchie Torres.
Support Israel. So to get in touch with the base here would mean to give in to this nonsensical free Palestine movement. That's all he can do. He shouldn't do it, and he's not going to do it.
I just want to point out. I mean,
it's Mamdani's base.
That is not Mamdani.
It's Mamdani's base.
Not the head of the
I just want to say the majority. Mark Levine, who won the comptroller's rate, was elected by the same electorate as he is Jewish. He's an advocate against anti-Semitism. He's pro-Israel. So the decisive issue in the mayoral election was not Israel; it was affordability.
No, we're talking about the activists who are calling for your primary.
And those activists have
I'm pretty sure more people didn't vote for like the comptroller in comparison to like the New York mayoral primary. That's a very silly point that this, I don't know, supposed rabble rouser, this dumbass over here, brought for the express purpose of balance is saying. Like, it's an irrelevant point. Again, hey, Ritchie, I wonder why people don't like you. Oh, it's because you're okay with Palestinians being murdered.
I was going to say, Scott, was that I mean, I have not seen that as a rationale. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not part of the rationale. I just don't know. So I just want to be clear that you're saying that that's what it is. You're suggesting perhaps
Certainly
it's that
in my case
and
it's
other
true.
things.
Yeah, there's no question that's true in my case.
But look, I mean, there's a list of people here, and not everybody is being primaried for the same reason, or threatened, I should say. One of the things that the co-chair of New York City's Democratic Socialists of America chapter says about Hakeem Jefferies is that his leadership has left a vacuum that organizations like DSA are filling. I think that is more important right now. To me, it seems like he is the one picking the fight with the left, and I think he should focus on fighting the right. That's the...
So I just find this so offensive. We have a two-party system.
The DSA, by the way, is broadly speaking correct. We can find, like, literally, like, Ritchie Torres was one of the main guys who tried to, at AIPAC, to gin up, like, a cancellation mob against fucking Hassan Piker in order to try to, you know, get him banned off of Twitch for being supportive of Palestinian emancipation. And I don't know, because of like the stupid, like, complete schizo conspiracy theory that Dan Saltman is going forward with. So, like, whatever. It's fucking stupid. Again, Ritchie Torres, follower of the Horsemen of Spite, Sex Pestiny.
It is a binary choice between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, between Team Jeffries and Team Trump. And if you're undercutting the Democratic leader in his own backyard, you're doing the bidding of Donald Trump. That's what they're doing.
Massive cope. Yeah, it's totally undercutting the work of the leader of the Democratic Party, replacing do-nothing Democrats with energy and people who want to basically just want to improve the party fundamentally, materially speaking. Because, again, you're not interested in that fundamental sort of improvement. You just want to keep getting your fucking AIPAC bucks and sort of advocating for, well, the death of children. That's what you want to do, Ritchie Torres, you ghoul. I don't think there's really much else to say here besides the fact that, as expected from the Democratic fucking establishment, these, like, charlatans, these complete losers, they're just like, oh, wait a minute, we're actually kind of threatened by Zohran Mamdani by the fact that he's actually broadly building the coalition of support that is necessary to, well, defeat our do-nothing politics and our complete sort of, utter nonsense bullshit of, you know, guys, if we just keep doing nothing and showing our belly in vulnerability to the Republican Party, maybe we'll be able to get some kind of, like, salt cap deductions or some shit. Yeah, dude, totally. Get the hell out of here with this, like, stupid bullshit, Ritchie Torres and Hakeem Jefferies. The time of neoliberalism is dead. The time of, like, do-nothing, pathetic, loser-ass Democrats is dead. Cope, seethe, mauled about it. You guys are losers.